We come now to the last session in the series, Management Consulting 05. Today we'll deal with 3 points in this session: future trends, and before that, contemporary issues and future trends in management consulting, entrepreneurship opportunities if you want to become an entrepreneur consultant, lastly, managing a consulting firm if you become an employee and rise to the top. This will be a short presentation, very short session. It will sort of round off rather than add much to what we have done till now in this series on management consulting. Let us look at the contemporary issues and future trends. Much of what is on the slide is self-explanatory. All of us know about it. It's only stating the obvious. The first important future trend is of specialization. I would go to the extent of saying it is super specialization now. And this trend is true not only about management consulting, but about consulting in general, even if we factor in consulting in medicine or law or technology. The trend of specialization and super specialization are on. In management consulting, this is more important because we have moved from a situation where somebody used to call himself a management consultant to a situation where somebody would call himself a marketing consultant or a finance consultant, to a situation where we call ourselves brand management consultants or distribution consultants. And we are moving into a next phase where we call ourselves brand equity consultants or brand architecture consultants or brand strategy consultants. So the trend towards super specialization is on. More so in developed markets, which can support super specialists. In developing markets, it's difficult. So we still have consulting at the 5 levels, strategy and the 4 functions. So people choose either of these 5 areas and specialize in the broad conceptual area rather than the super specialized conceptual domain. Second important trend is the movement of technology. And this is into 3 broad areas. One is the whole digital area of big data, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and so on. You can put metaverse also there. The second broad area is in genetics. The third area is into advanced materials. The first 2 is well known to most people. The third is not as well known to those outside of technology. But it's a very exciting area. In fact, it is even more fundamental than the above 2. Unfortunately, we need 5 Silicon Valleys dedicated only to advanced materials It is such a wide and exciting and promising area, but we don't have it. Much of the exciting research space is captured by the top two, not as much by number three, although there the promise actually is even more than in the top two. The core is this, and this development is very important. At the same time, it is also very disturbing to not any particular country, but world at large, the entire human civilization. And the trend is this. There are two trends in operation now, which professionally are influencing in a very fundamental way the entire human world of work. And naturally, if the world of work is disturbed or changed in some way, it's going to have a ripple effect on the rest of the society. The two trends are this. First trend is in the area of services and in the area of knowledge, you do something only once. Like I am recording this session, I won't have to do it ever again. I can only show it or ask students or anybody interested to just go to YouTube and see it. Which means if I was dependent as a teacher on this job, I would no longer have this job of repeating the same thing over and over again. So you do it only once. And you do your best, and you do it at best only once. It gets recorded, it gets captured, and then can be used a billion times. You never have to do it again. You only have to do the best and do it only once. And this will take away millions of jobs. And what will happen is multiplication of excellence on a global scale. So if somebody is teaching management consulting better than anybody else, everyone will see those videos and not any other videos. So that person will become a billionaire, but everyone else, even on YouTube, will go out of jobs. So this is like a boundless expansion of excellence, and in reverse you can say a boundless convergence of power and wealth to those who are able to do something excellent and put it on the web for the world to use. But anybody who is not in the zone of excellence, like in any area now, say management consulting, you will have 10 teachers in the world who teach it so well. You will have 10 teachers in the world who teach it so well. But at present, you will have 1,000 teachers teaching the subject. What happens to the other 990? So this is a very big problem from an employment point of view. And all future societies essentially will have to be based upon two principles. First, population control, and second, a social security system. Because wealth is going to be concentrated and jobs are going to be destroyed. There's no way we are going to be able to stop it. So then what remains? So first is multiplication of excellence on a global scale. And you do it only once. This is the first principle. The second principle at work is machines taking over human jobs in automation. So the second important trend is automation. It may just be automation by computers, or it may be full-blown robots, but the entire spectrum of automation. What remains for human beings then is, one is doing excellence in any area, second, intuition, third, creativity, and fourth, emotions. These are the domain areas which remain outside of technology which only human beings can operate in. But there again, the principle of excellence will apply, and therefore we are moving into a world which essentially is centered around the top 10% in any area. Not even top 10%, I would say top 1% in any area. It's going to be an extremely aristocratic world. Now, this has two aspects. One is the social concern that I just expressed, and the second is management consulting opportunities in all these areas. As companies move in a large way in these areas, management consulting opportunities are thrown up. Not only these areas, but as companies in these areas grow big, they also have general management requirements. The classical requirements of merger and acquisition, brand management, customer satisfaction, product development, and so on. An important element here is, in trends area, outsourcing of non-core functions to KPO firms. The first outsourcing wave we saw was BPO. Next is KPO, and here management consulting itself is involved. Management consulting firms are using this model to create a fully owned subsidiary in India and outsource low-end management consulting work from all the global offices to India under this KPO arrangement. And this also is a very big area of opportunity for management consultants, either to be employees or to be an entrepreneur in this area. The larger prospect and the more lucrative prospect is outsourcing of high-end work in management consulting to India. And IMCI can play a big role here because I think it has a very good network of about 500 to 600 consultants, maybe even more. And that is something global management consulting firms would like to tap into. Continuing with our discussion on trends. There is a discussion now on how much to outsource, and will it not render the company into a hollow company? So what to hold on? And the answer usually is hold on to the intellectual property, the brand, the distribution, the network, and creativity. And outsource the rest of easy to replicate functions. In transition of a company from an unwieldy, all-doing company to a lean, focused company, is this transition also is an opportunity for management consultants. Another trend is shifting focus from gross domestic product to the happiness domestic product. Shift from pure statistical GDP to actual well-being of citizens, and the focus away from ability to buy to quality of life. And here in quality of life, there are two broad aspects: abundance in the outside world and plenitude in the inside world. Abundance is easy to quantify and measure. Plenitude is difficult to quantify and measure. But this is where consulting opportunities are as not only companies but even countries move towards quality of life. And it broadly falls in the social sector area, and that is where there is a large opportunity for consultants practicing in the non-profit area. Redesign of jobs and society, because as I said, the two factors are fundamentally taking away jobs, and a redesign is imminent. And this also becomes an area for consulting. This will start off with very small countries and then go to the larger countries. Social security is a very big area. How to make it sustainable, how to institute it where it is not there, and where it is there, how to make it sustainable. But this is more of an opportunity for consulting firms, less for individuals. Another area is of global culture, not strictly a management area, but management consultants with some interest can probably dabble there. Studies in those areas commissioned by both governments and corporates, by think tanks, and also by industry associations. Entrepreneurship in consulting, management consulting. Setting up is very easy. In some countries, you need a certified management consultant degree, like Canada, where it's a chartered service. In countries like India, where it is not a chartered service, you can just set up yourself and announce yourself as one, and you are one. In India, you can become a member of IMCI, CMC, CDC to get into network, to get resources, intellectual resources, social resources, and then go in for web marketing or social marketing, and go in for the usual call and meet drill. And this is how you can start off in a small way as an individual management consultant. But better it is to do after working with some consultant for 4 to 5 years, or working in a company for a longer time, 10 to 15 years, and then starting it up. Very difficult to start as a fresher in this area. This is not actually an area for freshers. Some of the areas where, if you try to become an entrepreneur in the area of management consulting, some prospective areas where most people go are this. Most management consultants go into these areas. One popular area is project finance. Creating project reports, arguing with banks for finance, or arguing with private equity funds or venture capital funds for getting finance. So first prepare the project report, and then discuss the case with a private equity fund or a venture capital fund. And in the process, you take commission. In project finance, in debt cases with the banks, the usual commission is 1 to 2%. In case of private equity and VC funds, the commission goes from 3% to 5%. Second popular area is the area of surveys and customer studies. Every company has to do customer satisfaction survey every year, and this becomes bread and butter for many consultants and even consulting firms. Third, emerging areas. Third category of areas are the emerging areas of data analytics, intellectual property, and brand valuation. These are also very lucrative areas, very inviting areas at present. Many consultants with adequate conceptual sharpness and depth are going into these areas. You can also try if you feel interested in one of these areas, very promising areas. All the four, all the three, I would say. A tried and tested area is the area of certifications. This is an evergreen area like project finance and customer studies. It will never go off. Becoming a consultant to companies to help them get ISO, FDA, ISA, FSSA, all the regulatory certifications. So the broad area of being a consultant in certifications, one of the evergreen areas. In fact, all the five are evergreen areas. Not evergreen, I would say the four are evergreen. The specialized areas, they have suddenly become green now. We don't know till what extent they will remain green. My feeling is they will also become evergreen areas like the other four, but time will speak. But these other four already are time tested and proven evergreen areas. So training is the fifth. And this includes traditional training, where you hire a hotel room and do the training, or in-company training, or taking somebody out to a retreat or on a vacation and doing training there, the outbound training. And another large area which is coming up in training is the area of well-being. Training in the area of psychological health and well-being. Last point is, how do you manage a consulting firm? If you become an employee in the consulting firm and rise to the top over a period of time. First point to comprehend is, like any organization, the management consulting firm also has to be managed. And like any organization, you have five parts: strategy and the four functional areas of marketing, finance, HR, and operations. Irony is, a consulting firm, if it does not do good, it cannot hire another consulting firm to set it right. If the salt has lost its flavor, where shall it be salted? The consulting firms are spaces of the last resort in knowledge on management. There is no station deeper to go. This is the last station. So nobody can help them. They have to set themselves right, or be closed down, or be acquired by somebody. So strategy function is differently done if you are a company like McKinsey, which is into general management consulting, which provides consultant services in all the five areas of management, or you are like KSA Technopack, which is a specialized management consulting firm which specializes only in consultancy related to retailing. So if you are a specialized consulting firm, the domain of strategy is slightly different for you as a firm. If you are a generalized management firm, the process of strategy is slightly easier. Then all the four areas have to be managed like any other company, and different companies do it differently. Look at the marketing part of it. KPMG would go to a state government in India and do something free of cost and then get nearer to the government. Or Interbrand would bring out a global annual brand valuation report, top 100 brands of the world. And the report would be available free, top 100 brands. Methodology would be secret. And then they would go to companies to do their brand equity evaluation with a consulting fee. So very different way of marketing. On similar lines, Global Competitiveness Index released at World Economic Forum every year, created by the two people on the slide. And once you release this report, then you can go to governments to help them enhance their competitiveness and charge a fee for it. In the area of finance, you may be a conservative finance manager, or like SoftBank, you can raise money from innovative sources. In the area of human resources, the important parts of managing are the partners who are the real head of the firm, the real gray matter of the firm. So to get good partners and sustain them is the most strategic implementation part of any management consulting firm. Then the question of incentives, sharing the profit with the partners, with junior consultants, and the whole area of burnout and well-being. This is very, very important. It's a human-driven enterprise, human-driven business, and getting good partners, sustaining them, building incentives, managing burnout and well-being. This is one of the core issues of management of any consulting firm. In operations, it depends upon which area you are, but any consulting firm can look at how those into operations manage their own operations and what they say about operations. And there, Warwick and Kaizen can be good places to study. Their utterances, a good collection of wisdom. Rest to be customized based upon the country, sector, kind of assignments we do, kind of people we manage. Operations have a lot of specificity to it. So, like any organization, the management consulting firm also has to be managed very differently than an ordinary company. But in a generic sense, all components of management are there. Thank you. With this, we complete the 5-session series. We have done it in a concise way, quite fast, quite compact. Someday when we have more time, we'll take up in details at liberty, concepts and cases. Questions, if you have any, write to me at hveindia@gmail.com. Thank you.